Hi all, let's move to our next topic, that is graph. And we are still in chapter 1, so this is the last subtopic for this chapter. We talk about graph is something related to relation of the data. So by using graph, we are often clear to see trend and pattern. Besides, we can predict our next value or the amount that we want that lies in our range. So always in graph, what we do is the x-axis is control variable, while the y-axis is observed variable or responded variable, while all the other quantities in that affect our experiment will be constant, so it will not affect the x and the y. So when because of what? Because otherwise all the other quantities will affect our control variable, and thus it will uh, affect our observed variable. And when it's always when we plotting the graph, we are doing like this: the control variable will against the observed variable, so you can do like this. And in our graph, we have a straight line graph. We also have a quadratic graph. We also have an exponential graph, and there's a lot more graph out there. But today we'll focus on the straight line graph. So the general equation for the straight line graph is y equal to ms plus c. And if you can recap back what we learned before, I already show you how to find the gradient, or how to make out how to create how to extract the information from the graph. However, we can do it now. And now I want to do I want to show you how we can make the equation from the graph. So as usual, we do have formula of our m, or the gradient. The formula is y2 minus y1 and x2 minus x1. And from this graph we can make this triangle, and we determine the coordinate for this point. So the coordinate for this point is 6, 4, and 0, 1. So what we do is y2, we take this as y2, y1. So this one, we take this one as 4 minus 1 divide 6 minus 0. So we simplify, we will have 2 over 3. So what we did is, for our equation, y equals to ms plus c, our m will be 2 over 3 x, and our c will be the point that passes the y-axis. Here is 1. So here is the general equation for this graph. Let me show you how do I use the knowledge of the graph to write a research paper. This is a research paper that I did when I'm remaster with Dr. Abdul Rahman, with Dr. Aida from UKM, Prof. Sahib from UKM, and Dr. Muhammad Hafiz bin Muhammad Isa. So what we did is we are trying to improvise the current method of measuring or identify the surfactants, whether it is one of bioprocess product that is produced by bacteria, especially Bacillus subtilis. So what we did here is we tried to improvise the current method, add at that point, this is 2015 paper. We published it in 2015. So at that moment, or at this time, to detect surfactant, we need to use high performance liquid chromatography. That is one of advanced method, advanced or expensive device. So at that time, we need to take 40 minutes to analyze one sample. However, what we do, we improvise this method. So we are using another column, a newest column at that time. So we are able to reduce the time, the analysis of time, from 40 minutes to 12 minutes. So it's almost 60-65% of efficiency. So we have managed to reduce the time from 40 minutes to 12 minutes. So it's around 28 minutes. So in analysis, it means a lot, because in analysis, we are not dealing with one sample. However, we deal with thousand, hundred thousand of sample. So one of the idea, or one of the way to validate our method is we need to find the R square. R square is there is one homework for you. Try to find what is R square. So what we did is we plotted this graph from the result that we obtained. For x-axis is surfactant concentration, and for the y-axis is total peak area. So we need to know the total peak area for each concentration. So we have the data. So we need to plot like this, and then from this graph, our relation is, our equation is y equal to 10.413s, as there is no y-intercept here, because the intercept happen at 0, so we do not need to put the value in this equation. So we leave our equation y equal to 10.413s. So the r square is 0.9935. So find out the r square and leave it in the comment section. And if you want to know what is this article about, you can download it via this link. I give you this link, so you can try to read it and ask me if you find anything. To the track, here is one example of the graph. Is given this kind of graph. So from this graph, you can do by yourself. You can determine the equation for this graph. You can do by yourself here. So, and you can discuss it among your friends. There is some more graph that you can work by yourself and among your friends, how to determine the equation for the graph. And from our graph, graph with units, often graph won't be those of just numbers and line, but instead will have some physical significant and hence include units. So consider this graph. This graph is about a particle velocity as a function of time. The y-axis is the velocity of the particle, while the x-axis is the time. The equation for this graph is given is v equal to 80 plus 25, where 25 here is the y-intercept, and 88 is the gradient for the graph. V has units of meters per second, and to make the equation work, so everything on the right hand side must also have unit of meter per second as well. So let's see. Okay, so if we have V equal to 80 plus 25, so V is in our left hand side, so the V here is meter per second. So here we need to make sure our right hand side part also be meter per second. So this dimension should be same. And for this particle, we can get another information from this graph. And if you still remember, for m equal to y2 y1 s2 minus s1. So if we can see the dimension of y, this is meter per second, while the dimension of s this is time, which is given second. And if we can rewrite that as meter per second, or you can write it as meter, same thing. So what's meant by this? So it means that the gradient shows the acceleration for this graph, and the acceleration for this particle is 8 meter per second. Besides, if our graph doesn't have the range that we wanted, what we can do is we can predict the value of our estimated value by using this equation, and we will go detail in our tutorial how to use this equation, and you can try by yourself how to solve this problem. I give you 1 minute to solve this problem. So for this one, you should get the equation of this graph, y equal to 7 over 2x minus 5 over 2. Then what you need to do is you need to plug in this number 1.3 in this question, and you will get the answer for this. Try to discuss with your friend, or you can work by yourself, and we will discuss it in our tutorial. Thank you, everyone.